Alright, here we go. So here's a match that I've been waiting for a very long time to play against Dark Magicians, a main deck Dark Magician. And I only made one real big misplay in here, and I was so happy that I didn't make that many because usually I make a lot of mistakes with Runicks only because I'm not super familiar with Runicks. I don't play Runicks all that much. I actually created a deck to go completely against Runicks. Um, but I do play it, just not that frequent. So sometimes I make misplays. But in this particular gameplay, the misplay that I make didn't have anything to do with my side. It was more so about his Eternal Souls. And I forgot that I can't. I got a little trigger happy. I'm not gonna lie. I banished two of his Dark Magicians early, and I forgot that you have to deal with the Eternal Souls before you can deal with the Dark Magician. It becomes unaffected when it's on the field. So that's where the misplay happens. So I'll talk about it when it happens. So he activates Eternal Souls right here, which is completely fine by me. I'm going to activate Runic Tip. And of course, I did this because I knew I had another fountain in hand. And I did this, grab Destruction, so that way I could pop his Eternal Soul. That would get rid of his Dark Magician. That would leave this effect only able to banish this fountain. I don't give a fuck that this fountain is getting banished. I have two more in the deck. This one right here is in hand, and I got one more in the deck. So I don't give a fuck that he's banishing that. I literally just wanted to get rid of his Eternal Souls right here. So I activate Fountain, and then I go ahead and activate Destruction, so then that way I can draw three once I start getting these effects going. It's going to pop the last monster that he's got on the field, leaving with him with only this card here. I got Diviner of Herald in hand, so I hope y'all know what that means. Normal Diviner of Herald, send Agito. Agito is going to make this level 6, and then I'm going to Synchro into Chang Ying. Chang Ying is going to be absolute fucking nightmare for Dark Magicians. I should have put this into defense, but I really didn't give a fuck. So basically, it's going to go ahead and start banishing shit. Banish two of his Dark Magicians at once. Two of his shit. He didn't quit, so I knew he had one more. Because usually, if he only had two Dark Magicians, and this is a Dark Magician based deck, he would have quit. So I knew he had one more. So he sends his last Dark Magician, and I was waiting on that shit. Look at this. I used Keldo to put it back into the deck. This motherfucker uses Call by the Grave, but his dumbass called by the grave the wrong card. He called by the grave Agito after I had already gotten the effect of Agito. So, dumb motherfucker didn't know the cards. And so I go ahead and banish one of his Eternal Souls. So that card's offline, as well as two of his Dark Magicians are offline, which is completely fine by me. He's going to activate Magician's Rod right here. He's going to stack with Soul Servant, this card back on top of the deck so he can grab another Eternal Souls. He's going to activate Timaeus, sending this Magician's Salvation right here. I'm going to activate Freezing Fire to pop this card the second this bitch hits the field. You are not protecting your Eternal Souls with no fucking Dragon Knight. So I know what you're trying to do, my boy. He's got his Dark Magician in hand, and he goes into this card right here, Artemis. So what's the first thing I'm going to do is Keldo and send his Magician's Rod. Ain't no way you putting sending Artemis to get Magician's Rod. Now you have to send your Dark Magician back to use that Rod effect. And you're not even getting that because I'm sending that bitch back to the deck. So I just made him much more inconsistent. He was searching for all this shit, and I just made it more inconsistent. And this is where I made my fuck up right here. I tried to send his Dark Magician, but I should have sent Eternal Souls. That's my fuck up. That would have wiped his field too. But he's a champ right here because he stays in here. He stays all the way to the end. He can't bleed his shit. Look at this. He's got 21 cards banished. Look at this shit. He got two banished Illusion of Chaos. His Timaeus is banished. He's got two banished Eternal Souls. He's got one of his Dark Magical Circles banished. Like, his shit is insane. And then in his graveyard, look. And I don't want his Rod in the graveyard, because if Rod is in the graveyard, he could tribute something off of his field to get it back into his hand and start back making plays, get back into the game. No, I don't want that. So look, his final Dark Magician is in the graveyard. What do you think is about to happen now with this final Dark Magician? I'm going to activate Smithing Storm right here. Sending. Look, he's got one card left right here. My battle phase gets skipped. And that's GG's, my boy. All I gotta do is end my turn and it is game. This match was insane.